గణపురం మండలం చెల్పూర్ కేటీపీపీ గోదావరి గెస్ట్ హౌస్లో అటవీ వన్యప్రాణి సంరక్షణ సమన్వయ సమావేశం జరిగింది. అటవీ వనరులు మరియు వన్యప్రాణుల సంరక్షణతో పాటు ముఖ్యంగా పెద్దపులి సంచారం సందర్భంగా ఛత్తీస్గఢ్, మహారాష్ట్ర, తెలంగాణ ఉన్నతాధికారులతో ఒకరోజు వర్క్షాప్ జరిగింది. సిసిఎఫ్ వరంగల్ సర్కిల్ అక్బర్ అధ్యక్షతన జరిగినటువంటి కార్యక్రమానికి రాష్ట్ర ప్రధాన ముఖ్య అటవీ సంరక్షణాధికారిని అటవీ దళపతి రొయ్యూరు శోభ ముఖ్య అతిథిగా హాజరయ్యారు. వారితో పాటు అటవీ ప్రధాన ముఖ్య సంరక్షణాధికారి మురళి, టైగర్ రిజర్వ్ ప్రాజెక్టు డైరెక్టర్లు తడోబా, ఇంద్రవతి కావల్, రామగుండం సిపి సత్యనారాయణతో పాటు 13 జిల్లాలకు చెందినటువంటి డిఎఫ్ఓలు, జయశంకర్ జిల్లా కలెక్టర్ అబ్దుల్ అజీం హాజరయ్యారు. ఈ సందర్భంగా పలు కీలక అంశాలపై వారు చర్చించారు. ఈ కార్యక్రమంలో భాగంగా ఏర్పాటు చేసినటువంటి ఫోటో ఎగ్జిబిషన్ ఆకట్టుకుంది.
Let it not be an NRI, let it stay here. In fact, we are its intruders. It's his home. Let it live and let it is born free and let it live free. All living beings, and in living beings in the sense both animals, birds, insects, and trees and flora. Everything. So we are all living on them. We are living only because of their existence. And Akbar also has been mentioning in between each and every speaker that yes, as a citizen, it's our duty to protect what is around us, and it is what is around us is making you live. Once a person realizes that, you feel it your bounden duty to give it back and protect the life around. Unless and until we have the proper balance, mankind will not exist any longer on this. COVID itself has given us a big lesson. It has changed the lifestyle, it has changed the way of thinking of everyone. We need to take care of a small little angstrom-sized virus. It has its role, it has its place, so you have to keep it in its place so that it will not overpower the rest of the other beings. Everything has a balance to fall in. Nothing should exceed its own limit, the saturated or the tolerable limits, the threshold limits. Once anything crosses a threshold limit, be it the greed of man, the whole environment around you, the life around you collapses. So we are very fortunate to have all the forest officers and as well as the police officials and NTCA officer from Government of India here today to have a detailed dialogue. Each and every one of them from Chhattisgarh, from Maharashtra, from Telangana, they will be presenting how to go about it, how to arrest the forest smuggling, how to protect what we have, all our forest wealth, how to monitor the tigers and ensure they multiply and live happily. So let us have a wonderful exchange of ideas. Such sort of a meeting had happened earlier, only for the forest protection side mostly, or only for the tiger movement. But this time, we wanted to have them both, because unless and until both go together, we cannot take care of our forests. We have to take care of the forest wealth to ensure the tiger and all the other animals in the food pyramid stay. So this is the second of its kind, though on a very broader scale. Earlier we had one meeting in Adilabad that was only with the Maharashtra. Chhattisgarh was not involved in it. It was only with Maharashtra, and NTCA had participated. It was last year, April 2019 April. So this time, because of COVID, I had to postpone it for a long time, but now I thought it's time. We are all taking care. We have learned how to live with COVID and take care of COVID too. So it's time we meet and come up with very good actionable points so that we protect our forests, we take care of wildlife, and we also take care of our future. We need to build up this total ecosystem balance to ensure that our future generations also have the correct air, the oxygen to breathe in, and live with the total beautiful biodiversity around them. We are only a part of the total ecosystem. We cannot overpower and topsy-turvy the food pyramid in this ecosystem. We need to do it in a systematic, well-drawn manner. We need to have standard operating procedures and follow them very carefully so that we ensure a wonderful environment, a wonderful biodiversity for our future generations. That's what I'm expecting from this workshop, and I have come all the way from Hyderabad in a way denying my chief executives asking me not to go away from headquarters. I said no, I have to go, and I'm here, I'm glad I'm here, so that I want to listen to each and every one of you, all the issues, and we have all the level of officers here from all the states, including the police force, who help us a lot in every state, because we alone, forest department alone, sometimes, most of the times, cannot tackle all the issues, especially the rural areas. When the villagers or the people groups come in en masse, it's very difficult for a bunch of foresters to tackle them. We always seek and we get excellent support from our police force and the district administration. All of them are working with us. So in such a scenario, we all should have very good actionable points, which meticulously we should review monthly now, not once in a year. We need to, at least at the circle levels, at the neighboring division levels, it should happen, meet and review monthly, so that if it continues, we'll definitely go on the right path and we will establish a wonderful, wonderful ecosystem, environment or biodiversity in all this area. This is a huge Dandakaranya area. In the beginning, only said that there are no boundaries for anything. There is no boundary for air even. So every life form has no boundary. So we should not restrict them. We should not say this is your border, you do not cross. You can't tell the tiger to come, not cross the RF boundary. It will come and go. We need to be protective around it. We also need to, just not the department having standard operating procedures, we also need to think about the people around, build up awareness among the people living around the forest to accept the life forms as they are, accept their lifestyle, accept their movement, and also take them as stakeholders, take them as participants in their protection and conservation. So that angle also I request you all to look into while you are making your presentations, and while we come to the conclusion, such points also, let us focus a little more of our own time, our own, expand our job roles to ensure we get the public support also.
So basically I would like to take you to basically what we have done in Telangana after the formation of the state, and subsequently we have the districts reorganization. Earlier when the state was formed, we have only 10 districts, now we have 33 districts. For administrative convenience, the state government has taken a decision to have 33 districts. So the first point says about we have 12 protected areas.
Yeah, nobody.
So then we have 7 wildlife sanctuaries and 2 tiger reserves, and which basically accounts for 27% of the forest area. And of course the tiger, the protected areas and all that really comes to 6.5% of geographical area. Then as I said, after Telangana formation and the new government, subsequently in 2016 we have 33 districts. and based on these 33 districts, we have reorganized the forest department also. Why I am giving this brief is that this has got a direct bearing on the forest protection, and it has really found to be useful for our day-to-day administration, that I will be telling you in the next, say, 1 or 2 slides. As you could see, when government has decided to form these 33 districts, the mandate they have given to the forest department is that whatever you have to organize, there will be no extra staff would be sanctioned to you. There will be no new posts will be created. That was the bottom line given by the government. And we took this not only as a challenge, as a blessing in disguise. And earlier, as most of you know, that the forest department administration used to be based on the forest areas.